CA has appointed as an peer review of Shivam and Co. Limited. Shivam and Co. submitted submitted a list of assurance and due diligence service for the peer review. CAS is a process of deciding on how many assurance service would be reviewed, and CAS is decide the number of assurance service engaged by the reviewer. Number of assurance service engaged by the reviewed shall be depends upon the standard of quality control generally prevail, size and nature of the unit, and engagement are undertaken by the practicing unit. Methodology generally allotted by the practicing unit providing assurance service, number of partners and number of members involved, assurance service engagement practicing unit, number of location, number of branch office, and number of the branch unit, fees charged, received and service tax paid by the practicing unit. These are the responsible. HK Chartered Accountant has been auditors of the SAT Limited of the last 8 years. CA as a partner of the firm has been handling the audit assignment very well since the appointment. The audit work of the CEH has and the team is reviewed by a senior partner C. Case assurance that the audit is performed in accordance with the professional standards and regularly and legal requirements. CAK was out of India for some personal reasons, so the CAG has to review the audit, but it is an opinion that whether the CAG should consider the timing for review. List of the four reasons and also the comment whether the firm is firm is company for the standard of quality control or not. So a senior partner who has done the audit, another partner can do the audit now. If he has a proper qualification, if he has the proper experience to do it, he can review the work of another person. As per the SQG engagement quality control review shall be about the following. Discuss significant matters with the engagement team, review the draft statement and process and proposed auditor review, review the selected audit documentation with the significant judgments and engagement team making the condition reached. And evaluation, the conclusion reached with formulating auditor report and considering whether the proposed auditor report is appropriate. For audit of financial statements of listed entities, the engagement quality control reviewer engagement quality control reviewer can perform the engagement quality control review shall be consider the following. Engagement team review the firm's independence in relation with the audit engagement. Whether appropriate consultation has been placed on a matter involving opinion or other difficult or contentious matter. And the conclusion arising from those consultation, whether the audit documentation selected for review for reflect the work performed in performed in relation to the significant judgment made and about the conclusion reached. In the given case, the reviews done by the CAG, who is another partner in HNK, assuming as a review, all the required area and the documentation as per the SQC, the firm is compiled with the standard of quality control. The PQ and Associated Chartered Accountant is a partnership firm with three partners, EAP, Q, and R. The PQR Associate is appointed as an Senate Auditor of ABC Limited, listed entity for financial year 2021, and CA partner appointed as engagement partner for the audit of ABC Limited. Before issuing the audit report ABC Limited, CAP asked R to perform engagement quality control review and has reviewed that the responsibility will be reduced after reviewing the CAR whether the contention of CAP is correct and whether the aspects need to be considered for CAR by performing the engagement quality control review of audit of financial statement of ABC Limited. So the contention is not right because the responsibility of the signing partner never is always on him. As the other partner is checking through it, he may find any misstatement that he left out, and he may check whether the audit engagement is done as per the standard of auditing engagement, standard of auditing control, and quality has been maintained, and all the proper document has been corrected or not. Other than that, the whole responsibility of the audit is within the hands of the auditor. As per the PQR Limited, Chartered Accountant is having a three-partner PQR Limited appointed as a statutory auditor of ABC Limited, listed company for the financial year 2022. CAP is appointed as an engagement partner of the audit. Before issuing audit report, CAP asked the CR to engage a perform an engagement quality control review. CAP has reviewed that the responsibility will be reduced after the review of CAR. In this contention, CAP is not correct. It shall be responsible for he is responsible for the audit. The following are aspects need to be considered by CAR engagement quality control review while perform the engagement control review for the audit of the financial statement ABC Limited. CAR shall perform the objective, evaluating the significant judgment made by the engagement team and conclusion reached and formulate the auditing report. Evaluate including discuss the significant matters with the engagement partners EAP, review the financial statements and proposed auditor report, review the selected audit documentation relating to significant judgment and engagement team made and conclusion reached. And evaluating the conclusion reached and formulating the auditor report and consideration whether the proposed auditor report is appropriate. CER shall also consider the following function following engagement teams evaluation of the firm's independence in relation to the audit engagement, whether the appropriate conclusion has been taken on the matter involving difference of opinions or other difficult and contention matter and conclusion arising on consultation, whether the audit documentation selected for the review and reflects the work performed in relation to the significant judgment and makes support work and conclusion reached. A and B Co. Chartered Account is a large firm based on Mumbai. AB and Co. is a reviewed peer review for the peer review for the financial year 31st March. Firm got its intention of the June 30th, 2024. X and Co. Chartered Accountant is appointed to undertake the peer review process. Upon the completion of the peer review, X and Co. observed certain non-compliance with the audit standards. X and Co. did not share any of the observation with the AB and Co. and submitted the final report to the peer review board of the Insurance Chartered Accountant. Oh, is this action is correct? No. It's a duty of the peer review to comment on it and tell them what they have mistake. And the reporting to the ICA is correct, but not telling them is not fair. After completing on-site review, the peer reviewer, before making the report to the board, shall communicate its finding to the primary report to the practicing unit. If in this opinion system and procedures are deficient or non-compliance with the reference to the matter, then he has and then noticed by him if there any other matter where to other matter where he seek to find want to seek clarification. The practicing unit within the 5 days after the day of receipt of the finding make any submission or representation writing to the reviewer response to the preliminary report. At the end of the on-site review of the reviewer is satisfied with the reply received by the practicing unit, he shall submit a peer review report to the board along with the initial finding. Response by the practicing unit, a manner in which responses has been dealt with and a copy of the report also the forwarded to the practicing unit. In the case of a reviewer is of the opinion that response by the practicing unit is not satisfactory, reviewer shall accordingly submit the modified report to the board in accordance with the reason for the same. The reviewer shall also submit the initial finding, preliminary report, response to the practicing unit, response to the preliminary report, and making it when the responses have been dealt with. And copy of the report shall also be forwarded to the practicing unit. In the case of modified report, the board shall order for the follow-up. Review the period for 1 year from the date of, in the case of modified report, board shall order for a follow-on. A review after a period of 1 year from the date of issue of report as I mentioned above. If the board so decided, period for 1 year may be reduced but shall not be less than 6 months for the date of issue of this report. Conclusion. In the instance, Mr. Yexco, the peer review system of procedure of AB and Co is deficient. Therefore, peer reviewer should not submit the report directly to the board. ABC and Co is a firm of chartered accountant located at the Mumbai branch at Calcutta and Chennai. During the financial year, the firm carried out statutory audit of 18 listed companies in consists of 10 companies with exceeding 1,000 crores, one public companies, and rest of nine companies are private companies. 8 companies have turnover exceeding 500 crores and less than equal to 1,000 crores, and 24 private companies. The firm has submitted itself a peer review process during 21-22 continue to hold certificate issued by the peer review board. The validity date expired. During the financial 2023, it has been decided that the firm has expect subjected to quality review or by the QRB of Institute. Can QR be conducted by its firm? If yes, can one of the audit of the listed company with audit of the public sector company done by the firm of 2021 be subject to QR by quality review by the people? So, quality review so collected by the audit firm. And as the biggest statutory auditor of the terms of the turnover of the auditing, as well as complexity of the audit involves. So peer review can be conducted. That's it. Peer review is a review system and procedure of the audit firm. Peer review is a part of the activities of ICA aim to improve the quality of services, whereby quality review board is constituted by the central government in the independent of ICA. As per section 28A of the Standard Accounting Act, central government's authority to constitute a quality review board, and quality review board is, carries on supervisory and disciplinary functions. Further, Rule 3 by National Financial Reporting Authority Rule 2018, inter alia provides an authority of FSRA, which has the power to monitor and enforce compliance with the accounting standards and auditing standards, oversee the quality of service, and Section 132, and underwent the intervention of Section 4 of the election of the auditors. Concluding this tense, company peer review system is a procedure as the prescribed class of companies and the bodies of the body corporate includes company whose securities are listed in any stock market in India, outside India. Ministry of Corporate Affairs classified the quality review board review of section 132(2) of the Companies Act. Trade with the rule 945 NFRA rules 2018. Issue one quality review board reviewing the audit of the companies and board corporate specified in the Rule 3 of NFRA rules will only arise in case of reference to the QRB and not otherwise. In the situation, ABC Limited Chartered Accountant is having an unexpired validity date peer review certificate issued by the peer review board. It is also decided to have quality review of ABC and Co. But quality review board. In this overview, it can be concluded that peer review and the quality review both are distinct activities. Therefore, the quality review of ABC and Co. can be conducted in respect of 24 private limited company. Conducted in respect of 24 private limited company. Further, considering the above, in the case of the statutory audit of 18 listed companies, NFR has a power to oversee the quality review service of the audit firms. Therefore, none of the audits of the listed companies audit of public sector company done by the firm 2122 can be subject to quality review by the sub-quality review board irrespective of the fact that biggest statutory audit in terms of turnover of the audit as well as the complexity of the audit issues. GA Morgan is appointed as a peer reviewer for the TB Associates. He is asked for all the management consultancy engaged done by the firm and representation before various authorities carrying out the TB Associates for the peer review. And during this period, the mail to peer review board selection of T, the managing partner of the firms that the area outside the scope of the peer review and contention of T is correct or not. The selection of assurance service engagement for reviewer. The peer review guidance defines the scope of the peer reviewer while reviewing around the complaints of technical, professional, ethical standards and the quality of the reporting. A system and procedure of carrying out the assurance services. The trainings programs of staff, including articulated and audit assistance, involve assurance or engagement. The self-evaluating under the audit quality maturity model. Any of the guidance issued by the Center of the Audit Control compliance with the direction guidance issued by the Council as its members, including fee to be charged, number of audit undertaken, register of assurance engagement conducted during the year, and such other related records and complaints with the direction of the guidance issued by the Council in relation to the article assistance and audit assignments, including attendance register, work diary, stipend, money, any other related work. The entire peer review process is directed at the assurance services. The assurance service means assurance engagement service specified in the framework and assurance engagement issued by the Insurance Chartered Account of India as may be amended from time to time means engagement in which practitioner expresses a conclusion designed to engage a degree of confidence of an intended user other than responsible party about the outcome of the evaluation of measurement and subject matter against the criteria. Assurance engagement does not include management consultancy engagement. A representative before various authorities and the engagement to prepare tax return, advise clients in taxation matter, engagement of compliance with financial statement, engagement solely to assist the client in preparing, compiling, and collating information other than financial statement, testifying as an expert witness, providing expert opinion on the points of principle, such as accounting standards are applicable to the certain laws as by the basis of fact heard by the client, and engagement of the due diligence. In this situation, CA Morgan is appointed as a peer review of MT and Associates, has asked all this engagement consulting engagement done by him from representation before the various authorities carried out at EV Associates and peer review. In the view above, the peer review of the management consultancy management and the representation before various authorities, CA Mohan is not correct as a management consultation engagement and a representation before the various authorities is not covered. The scope of assurance engagement and the peer review is directed by the assurance engagement only. CAT was appointed as a technical reviewer of ABC and chartered accountant for the year 31st March for the quality review board. CAT was complete the review of ABC and Co within stipulated time. What matter shall be considered as a CAT in deciding the type of quality review report to be issued to the quality control review board for the ABC and mention any five key matters. Mm, dedicating deciding types of reports to be issued on review should be considered the evidence obtained and should be document the overall conclusion to a result of the year before being reviewed with respect of following matters. Whether the policies and procedure that constitute the reviewed form, AFRU form, EFRU systems of quality controls for its attestation service has been designed and ensure quality control is provided with the forms with reasonable assurance for complying with technical standards and other relevant guidance and other relevant laws and regulations. For the personnel reviewing the annual financial UR compiled with the policy and procedure in order to provide the form reasonable assurance for complying with technical standards, other relevant guidance and other relevant laws and regulations. The audit forms has established procedure to record the audit plan, record the nature and time and extent of audit procedure performed, and conclusion drawn from the evidence obtained. The audit firm maintains audit documentation as per the relevant documents. The progress of attestation service is monitored, and the work performed by each assistant is reviewed by the services in charge with the necessary guidance and providing assistance. Mm, General auditing principle and auditor responsibility. What are the roles and responsibility of the statutory auditor in relation to completion compliance with the laws and regulation of the entities. I say to be considering the laws and regulation of the audit of financial statement. When it's a responsibility of the auditor to prevent and it's a responsibility of management to see through there is no non-violence of any laws and regulation. If not, auditor also be responsible to see through the whether all this laws and regulation forward. If not, he needed to report to the management. Those are the governance. Responsibility and prevention of non-compliance with laws and regulation reduction, therefore, is not auditor. Responsibility auditors plan and perform the audit, recognize the audit, and reveal the condition and events that could lead to questioning whether the entity is complying with laws and regulations. The auditor is responsible to stick that to the extent to he should design the audit procedure in such a way that the audit procedure may be reveal the condition which will lead to questioning the entities about the compliance of laws and regulation. For non-compliance of auditor should consider a possible effect on the financial statement. If the auditor concludes that non-compliance has a material effect on the material financial statement, auditor should express and qualify an adverse opinion as appropriate. In exceptional cases, the auditor shall consider whether the unless prohibited by laws and regulations, withdraw from the engagement is necessary for the management, and those such as governance do not take the remedial action on the auditors considering appropriate responses. When subservient organization performs an service for a service organization, and there is two alternative method for presenting the description of the control. Service organization determines any of the method to be used as an used user audit. What information would you obtain for control a subservice organization? Let's say for not using the audit consideration rating entity using service organization, what happens? And this audit report is they will ask the service organization to prepare an audit report. State that in this period, how what is the controls you have followed, and how you have done the audit, how you done the process, and what is the controls you have followed. Is how you have prevented the any deficiencies, and the way they will give for a point of time period, how this work is coming into them, how they performing, how they reporting it, how they giving the report to the management, and how they have been this process has been securely kept. These all things will be given in the subservice auditor to the statutory auditor. User entity may use service of a service organization that turns use the subservice organization to provide some of the service provided by the user entity that is a part of an user entity's information system and relevant to financial reporting. And report on the description and designing the control at the service organization called type 1 report. The report given by service auditor to end user entity auditor that comprises of description, preparation of management of service organization or a service organization report, the control objective and related control having designed and implemented the specific date. Yeah, report of a service auditor. It is an objective of conveying reasonable assurance that involves a service auditor's opinion on, description and service organization subject. The control objective and related controls are suitable for the designing control to achieve the specific control objectives. Report on the description and design the operating effectiveness of the control and service organization type 2 reports. The report gives a service auditor entities or user entities auditor that comprises of um, the description, preparation of management of service organization or of the service organization system and control objective and related controls and design and implementation specific date and throughout the specific period and in some cases the operating effectiveness throughout a specific period. The report of the service auditor with the objective and conveying a reasonable assurance that include the service auditor opinion on description of service organization system, how the control objectives design and how the related controls and the stability of design and the control to achieve the specific control objective and operating the effectiveness of the control. Describe the service auditors test of controls and result therefore. Type 1 type of report exclude the control of an service organizations, subservice organization, and a service provided by subservice organizations are relevant to the audit of the user entity of financial statement. And the user auditor is required to comply with the requirement of SA 402 and respect of the subservice organization and nature and extent of work to be performed by the user auditors regarding the service of provider for a service subservice organization depending on the nature of significance of the services to the user entities relevant of the service to be audited. Okay, that is the thing. RM&Co wants to allow the possibility of non-compliance with laws and regulation during the course of audit. SRS Limited, RM&Co seeks your guidance for identifying the indication of non-compliance with laws and regulation. As a 250 consideration of laws and regulation of audit financial statement, auditor shall perform the audit procedure to identify the instances of non-compliance with any laws and regulation that may materially affect the financial statement, but inquiring of the management where appropriate. Those charged with governance as to whether the entity is to comply with such laws and regulation and inspect in accordance with it. If any other relevant licensing is and relevant authority following are indicated. Investigation of regulatory organizations and government department, payment of fines and penalty, payment fund specified services or loans to consultant related parties, employees and government service employees. Purchase at the price significantly below the market price, that is a problem. Payments, fines, or organization, loans and consultancy related parties, unusual payments towards a legal and retention fees, unusual payment in cash. These are all the things you should see. This is one of the indicator.